How's it going, everyone? This is Dixon of the Ultimate Gamer. I'm logging on. And first of all, today is my birthday. I turned 41. Yay! Or something like that. I'm not going to be doing much, if anything, special on my birthday today. Got to work later on, so probably might be doing it on my next day off or something. But no, I'm not too much in a rush for it. But anyway, today I'm going to talk about my experiences with the Elder Scrolls series. Now, I didn't actually I didn't learn about the Elder Scrolls series until I think the sixth generation consoles. I think that's what it is. I learned about the third game, Morrowind. That's the first one I heard of. But I never really got much into it. My friend did. He actually had it on his Xbox. And I actually borrowed it and played a little bit. I didn't really get too much into it though because I didn't really like don't like reading the dialogue. The game looks awesome. It's just don't want to go through any of the dialogue or the complications because I didn't know much about the series back then. I didn't really get much into the Elder Scrolls series until the next generation came along, like the beginning of the seventh generation, like for the Xbox 360 with the fourth game, Oblivion. When I saw the preview for that, that looks amazing. So I decided to give that one a try by renting that game from a local video store, which still exists at the time. And I believe that was one of the last games I rented from a local video store in person before all this online rentals and digital stuff came along. And I was pretty amazed by it. I actually felt more comfortable with Oblivion than I did with Morrowind because it had voice acting and all the dialogues and all. It's easier to go through, and the combat system's much more easier than before. In the previous Elder Scrolls game, it doesn't look like you're hitting anything unless if you get upgrades for. But anyway, I pretty much got my actual start in the Oblivion. Never paid too much attention to Morrowind. I do want to get into that though, just for nostalgia, see what I missed for the most part. I've been playing a little bit of Morrowind time to time. Was the first game to be released on the console, well, exclusively on the Xbox for the console part. I was actually so hooked on Oblivion, I played that game all the way through on the Xbox 360. It's one of the games I got every achievement for, including with the DLC, like the Shivering Isles. However, I still was back in 2006. I was still more into leaning towards the console sides because I wasn't too much into the PC powered gaming enthusiast as I am today. And Elder Scrolls Oblivion is one of the only It's one of the games that actually for the consoles that actually keeps up with the PC for the most part back then. Unfortunately, Morrowind on the original Xbox didn't keep up with the PC because of the limited hardware limitations and all that. It, but it tried its best. And Oblivion, of course, was first released on the Xbox 360 and PC, but later released on the PlayStation 3. Which I never played the PlayStation 3. I can care about that one. Chances are the 360 version's more superior. Actually, it probably is. I also pre-ordered Skyrim when that came out on 11th, 11th, 11th. November 11th of 2011. Even though there's been many re-releases like Game of the Year editions and Legendary editions and Anniversary editions, and even a Switch edition, which pretty cool. They're showing love for that game, especially even on the Switch on the go. However, the Elder Scrolls Online, I kind of got a little bit into. It's actually pretty interesting if I just put enough time and effort into it, though. Not much into online multiplayer games in general. But it is. But Elder Scrolls Online can be interesting though. However, as far as learning about the previous games before Morrowind, look, I actually watched the Lazy Game reviews on the first game, Arena, which he did that review by the time when Skyrim came out. It was definitely flawed, but it was something back then. I'm actually already working on a project for a review project for Arena and giving you my thoughts on it. May as well give you a little bit of my thoughts now. It's a game. Arena was a game that was something for its time, but definitely doesn't hold up anymore. However, Daggerfall is definitely a much superior game. And I've been playing that lately. Well, the Unity, Daggerfall Unity. I've been putting like 60 hours as a late into Daggerfall Unity. I haven't beaten the game yet. However, I did play the Daggerfall Unity quite some time ago, but I kind of gave up a little bit on it, so give it another chance later. However, I did beat Arena, and boy, that was a son of a bitch to get into. Even though Daggerfall has its own flaws of its own too, but definitely much more of an improvement over Arena. I mean, Daggerfall actually has a whole world to explore around. Well, actually, not exactly a whole Tamriel world. Arena had a Tamriel world to explore, except it's all in sprites, but it's pretty much the same graphical background. It's just to change the color palettes, and basically, it's doesn't have no role-playing game elements to offer. I mean, not very many. I mean, you have some tasks just to make some extra gold, but doesn't have nearly as much as Daggerfall to offer as Daggerfall does. Which Daggerfall is a region in High Rock, and Daggerfall is not the only city to go to, of course, because the game itself take place around in between the southern High Rock and the northern Hammerfell. Pretty much something like that. Now, the two spin-offs, Battlespire and Redguard, I haven't got into yet. I will give those a chance, though, after I'm done with beating the shit out of Daggerfall. I mean, the Unity Daggerfall. Now, as I mentioned, Daggerfall is definitely a superior game over Arena, but the only true way of playing Daggerfall is Daggerfall Unity. Nexus mods, or from the Unity website, or you can download the GOG version of Daggerfall Unity, GOG Cut, which features all pre-installed mods. And you have an option to turn them all on and off. Like if you turn them off, you can still play the old classic graphical style in 1080p with modern WASD keys, which makes it a lot easier. Or you can play the game with all the remastered modified graphics and sounds. Whatever your preference is, you can go with either way. Or if not every mod is inside of the pack, you can always download a mod from website to add into the pack. The enemy NPC health meter, which I pretty much did. Downloading the Daggerfall Unity, especially from GOG, is free, and I definitely recommend it. And I'll be looking forward to getting into doing a Daggerfall project of my own one day, because there's definitely a lot to talk about, along with other Elder Scrolls games. But first of all, before I do any of the other ones, I gotta go for Arena first, which is almost done. Hopefully almost done. We'll see. Oh. I'm still looking forward for the next Elder Scrolls installment. Hopefully, the 6th game. Hopefully that'll come out soon, but I'm not gonna bet on it. Anytime. I mean, sorry, I've been kind of putting up a little cold too. I know it's my birthday and all, but you know, something like that. Yeah. Anyway, that's pretty much all I gotta say. Thank you all very much for listening and watching. This is Dixon of the Ultimate Gamer. I'm logging off.